It's NBA action on EA Sports. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams for what should be a terrific matchup here tonight. We're at Chesapeake Energy Arena in downtown OKC. Tonight, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder playing host to the LA Clippers. The Oklahoma City Thunder control the tap. Jay, without question, one of the biggest moments of the NBA offseason, Paul George, he chooses the Thunder, he stays in OKC.
And how about what Paul George said? He said, it's a perfect opportunity to submit myself and bring a championship where it has never been brought. And I think him and Russ work well off each other. Playoff P wants to be Playoff P all the time. Who better to bring that out of you than the Beastbrook?
Paul George at the line for a chance at a three-point play. A career 84% free throw shooter. Free throw up and good. It's a three-point play on the first possession of the game. It's LA Clippers ball. Beverly. The Clippers with 4 to shoot. Beverly, his first effort off the mark.
Shooters shoot, period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
Paul George to Adams. From the painted area, won't go down.
And physicality is your friend. Don't let these guys get any easy ones down low. Make them look at the refs, wondering where the foul was every time.
Carmelo Anthony traded, but Sam Presti turns that into Dennis Schroeder, now on a team built to win.
And I love this acquisition by the Thunder. When you think about Schroeder, he is actually almost the opposite of what Russell Westbrook is. He averaged 19 points, 6.5 assists last year for the Hawks, but he is not a ball-dominant guard. He will have the ball in his hands, but he's more apt to make plays quickly with the ball than Russell, who likes to hold on to the ball towards the end of the shot clock.
Able to convert on both free throws. Clippers have the basketball. Beverly to Tobias Harris. Surveys the floor. Nothing going here on that drive. Here comes the screen. Harris to Beverly. The shot turned away by Adams.
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
Couldn't keep it in. Out off Tobias Harris.
I got ball.
Westbrook to George. Westbrook to Paul George. Paul George, 2 for 2. That's what you want. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively and he makes those clutch shots, it re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
Thunder with the basketball. PG lets it fly, knocks it down, off the step back.
And last year, it seemed like PG really had a difficult time finding that next level elite PG. No doubt about it, this year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
Flushes it home.
Ed, did you see what this pass just did? Now it encourages his teammates to move with more sense of urgency because they understand that next time down the court, they might be on the receiving end of that pass.
George to Westbrook. OKC now with 4 to shoot. Paul George fires, not going down for him this time.
And that's how you close out on a shooter with a sense of urgency. The shooter was more worried about his landing space than he was the shot.
To Bradley. Has a look. And he hits.
You know what I like about this pass play? Instead of putting his head down and forcing the action, he patiently waited for the play to develop.
Westbrook to George. Baseline drive. Paul George looking good. 4 for 5. He's endured a major injury. He's had a change of address. But you look at Paul George, he is in the prime years of his career.
And there's no doubt about it. This entire offseason, if I were Paul George, I would think about how do I constantly channel my self-assigned alter ego. Playoff P needs to step up to the court every single day and bring that energy.
The Thunder have the possession. Schroeder to Paul George. Here comes the screen. It's George for 2. Deep 2 there. Won't go.
You see, this is something that everybody has, but some people choose to use it or not. I'm glad you choose to use effort on getting around those screens.
Here comes the screen. Beverly. Down to 5 on the 24. Has a chance. You talk about forcing things up. Too much pressure that time.
And it's never a great thing when you're talking to yourself the entire next possession about the shot you just missed. Now you know you're in that player's head mentally.
Oh, Dennis Schroeder. Good start. He's made his first shot.
When I think about the biggest international names in the game today, Dennis Schroeder's name probably isn't the first that comes to mind. But did you know that he's one of only 3 players to ever play in the league from Germany? Detlef Schrempf, Dirk Nowitzki, and Dennis Schroeder. He is a blur with the basketball, and he will be the first or second option offensively down the court each and every possession.
Fires the 3. Danilo Gallinari at the line. First free throw is good. That one won't go. One more to come. Oklahoma City ball. Screen coming. Sizing up the defense to George. Trying to cash in. He's too good to leave that wide open. Defense has to communicate.
These breakdowns happen because the team lacks communication. You have to point towards your man, keep that butt towards the baseline, and make sure you communicate.
Oh, and he can't keep it in off the block. Man, that was impressive. Shifting gears. Here comes some substitutions. Has a look. Oh, Dennis Schroeder. 3 for 3. That's a perfect start. Desperation shot here from half court, and it's off the rim. Came so close to draining that one from 3/4 court, but that'll do it for this opening period. Ed Cohen, Jay Williams with you as we get things started here in the second quarter. LA Clippers with the basketball. Gilgeous Alexander to Tobias Harris. Here comes the screen. Williams. Lou Williams. He's finally on the board. Makes his first shot.
The sixth man of the year after averaging 23 points per game off the bench. Think about that for a second. When was the last time the best player on the team came off the bench? That's who Lou Will is.
Schroeder. And throws it down. Jay, we're seeing more of the same to start the second.
It's called settle for more. Just because a defender gives you space doesn't mean that you need to take the jump shot. Keep attacking the rim. It will open up eventually.
Nothing going here on that drive. Get the cameras out. Flash on.
That's going to make a nice poster.
Inside, he scores.
The passing has been great, but the movement without the ball has been even better. Seeing a play before it happens is a skill set a lot of people don't talk about. But a great pass combined with great movement, good luck with that.
To Paul George. And that'll get out of bounds. Last touch by the Thunder. Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor. Jay, recent years, the Clippers have added guys, rookies and otherwise, who bring that toughness factor.
And it all starts with Patrick Beverley. He missed most of last season with a meniscus issue and a microfracture in his right knee. But I got a chance to sit with him at the desk during the NBA draft on ESPN. And when the Clippers selected back-to-back Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jerome Robinson, he looked right at me in the eyes and said, oh, they're going to have to get in where they can fit in. I'm going to make sure they bring it every single day. That's the kind of tough leader you have in P-Bev.
Bradley. So the first points for him in this first half, and he knocks it down for three.
Yeah, they really need him to get going. Really surprised that none of his teammates have been talking to him. This is when he needs him the most. They have to uplift him, help him continue to be confident on the court.
Has a chance. Beverly's shot no good.
I'm not sure that the contest on the shot contributed to the miss, but what it might have done is seep into the confidence of the shooter that the next time he might decide to try to drive to the rim instead of settling for a jumper.
To George. Baseline drive. And he'll head to the line.
Love the fact that the shooter created contact on the upward motion to shoot the basketball. Big time play.
Paul George at the line. First one, count it. Goes 2 for 2 at the line. It's the Clippers with the possession now. Beverly to Gortat. Probing the defense. He was all over him. Missed the shot. No free throws. To Bradley. Trying to cash in. Avery Bradley. He's 2 for 2 now.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Get down. Half court. Head talk.
Paul George. Short jumper won't go down. To Bradley. LA with 4 to shoot. Bradley to Gortat. And George able to gobble up the rebound. Westbrook into the front court. Leads 4 to Paul George. Baseline drive. From the outside, no good. Goes reverse to lay it in.
As my mother would say to the defender, A for effort, F for results.
It's LA Clippers ball. Beverly to Bradley. Gallinari off the mark.
You know, Ed, everybody gives so much credit to the guy who contested the shot, but there's no way he's in that position without the communication of the backbone of the defense. When you have a guy back there who can block shots and tells you to apply more pressure, you know you're in a safe place.
Now the Clippers call a timeout as they'll talk things over here in the second quarter. Some lineup changes now for both clubs. Jay, the Clippers last year were 2 games better than 500. Pretty amazing when you think about what they dealt with.
Most definitely. Think about what happened in the offseason. They traded Austin Rivers. They also lose DeAndre Jordan to free agency. But everything for this Clipper organization starts with Lou Williams. He is the stud for this team. It's his second time in his career he's been named 6th Man of the Year. And that's why they signed the 31-year-old to a 3-year, $24 million deal.
Clippers have the basketball. Beverly to Gortat. Easy path to the rim.
There are certain guys in this league that should be put on alert status 24/7 because either they're posterizing you or that attempt can still be a poster.
George to Westbrook. George lets it fly. It's Gortat with the rebound. Beverly into the front court. Margins 8. Harris.
Screen coming left, screen coming left.
Here comes the screen. He wants it at the rim and scores.
Oh, man, you're not supposed to be able to do that with that size, but in today's game, dexterity and mobility are off the charts for bigs.
Time expires to end the first half. The Thunder with the lead.
The Thunder have a comfortable lead at the halfway mark. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. Have a look at the leading scores for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Clippers were unable to find an offensive flow in the opening half. And someone needs to step up offensively if they plan to win this game. Not a single player has gotten in the double digits yet. These are the guys getting buckets for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Game track. Bench points.
The Los Angeles Clippers had enough difficulty dealing with the opposing starters, let alone their bench players. They really need to adjust for the depth of this opposing team and figure out how to slow them down.
Player of the half.
Paul George was lighting up the scoreboard in the first half, and I'm not sure the defense will be able to figure out what it'll take to slow him down. He looks like he's in a zone.
Who was cold?
Every player that makes it to the NBA is a great athlete, but even the best players have off nights. Today has just been one of those nights for this game. Here we go with the top plays from the first half.
Number 2. Number 1.
And with that, I'm sending it back to Ed and Jay to bring you the rest of the game.
Jay, upon scanning this Clippers roster, there are a lot of guards for Doc Rivers to work with.
Yeah, they have a plethora of guards, and if I'm this team and if I'm Doc Rivers, I'm thinking about how do I throw as many guards at you as possible quickly. And if you're a guard on this team, don't worry about your playing time. Raise your hand when you get tired because Doc wants to get another guard in there to apply the same pressure. They should be the new modern-day Detroit Pistons with the style they play defensively.
Paul George to Westbrook. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Tough shot there for Westbrook. He always thinks it has a chance. LA Clippers with the basketball. Beverly to Williams. Probing the defense. Has a look. Lou Williams. Not a busy night, but effective. 2 for 2.
The legend of Lou Will continues, and it only gets better in time. He is instant offense, and we've seen that this year when he dropped 50 points on the Golden State Warriors in a win. From having mentors like Allen Iverson to some of the biggest rappers in the game, there's no doubt he is a compilation of mixtapes on the court.
George. Short jumper off the mark.
That's how you do it. You keep riding him to the basket, and if the refs aren't calling it, keep being physical. Keep knocking him off balance.
Beverly to Williams. Beyond the arc for 3. That one off the mark. It's no good. Ferguson to Adams. Off the mark. Not a high percentage shot.
You can't fall in love with the jump shots. You have to find ways to maybe even get to the free throw line. Keep your team in the game by putting points on the board.
Westbrook across the timeline. They lead it. 4-point game. Adams. Westbrook. Deep 2 there. Won't go. Williams. To Beverly. Down to 5 on the 24. Has a chance. Gets a look. Can't hit.
The contest was good, but you being a nuisance was great. Continue to be that gnat that no matter how many times you swing at it, it never goes away.
To Beverly. Here's a chance from long range, and Patrick Beverly plays with so much confidence. Zero hesitation, knocks it down.
This game comes down to micro adjustments. Either mismatches, ball screens, slipping action on those ball screens, quick fades to threes. It just seems like you're actually finding your rhythm offensively.
Both teams tweaking their lineups. Here come some changes. George. And a putback slam.
There you go, big fella. So, Ed, my man P. Bev the other day made some comments on social media. I want to get your reaction. He said, I'll tell you right now, we are the best team in L.A. How do you feel about that?
Jay, since the Clippers moved from San Diego, I don't know if that's been the case once. Maybe going back a few years, but LeBron James is in L.A. now. I don't know if Patrick Beverly is right on that one. Thunder with the basketball. Schroeder to George. Lets it fly from long range. Paul George can't get that one to go. Defense all over him.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, Get to the free throw line. See the ball go in the hole.
Down to 5. Down to 4 to shoot. He's looking for that touch.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
To Schroeder.
Big pick right there.
Not today. Beverly into the front court. His guys now down by a point. To Bradley. To Gortat. Yes, marching Gortat. Consistent effort. He's at 50%.
Old school equals high percentage.
The Thunder will use a timeout as they'll talk things over in a one-point basketball game. We have both squads set to make some moves right now. Schroeder to Paul George. Schroeder to George.
Shot up. Oh, yeah, that's all.
The jumper's off the mark. It's the Clippers with the possession now. Gilgeous-Alexander to Bradley. Gilgeous-Alexander. They'll get it down low to Harrell. Shot from the lane won't go. Deep three at the buzzer. That ends the third quarter. The Clippers have the lead. The Thunder have it to start the fourth quarter, and this one looked like it might be a mismatch coming in. But, Jay, this has been a much closer game than anybody could have bargained for.
Well, these are the moments within the games where the team with the lead gets a little bit tight. When a team who's down, who has the firepower that this team does, you got to make sure that you execute every matter of the game in order to finally close it out.
Bradley to Beverly. Trying to cash in. Wide open look. Won't go. Oh, Dennis Schroeder looking good. 4 for 5.
This may sound cheesy, but sometimes you just need to sit back, get a tub of popcorn, and just enjoy the show, because that's what you're watching right now.
Short jumper won't fall.
It's so important to instill confidence in your best player. I know he missed a shot earlier, but that doesn't mean that you can't run the same exact play and let him prove he's a player he thinks he is, and we all know he is.
Bradley to Beverly. The Clippers with 4 to shoot. Has a look. Beverly's shot no good. Oklahoma City's got it. Schroeder. Grant with the shot. That won't fall.
Misses happen. Don't put your head down. Let that motivate you on the defensive end. Use it for something positive.
Bradley to Beverly. Doesn't have the touch. No good.
I love when I see a good contest. You're crowding the player's landing space, which naturally makes him worrisome about turning the ankle on that landing.
Paul George. With the fadeaway. burns him for the basket.
You've heard it before. Slow and steady wins the race. This approach might be working out after all.
Timeout called here by the Clippers as they'll discuss matters in what's now a 3-point game.
I know the fans didn't get a chance to hear this during the break, but the coaches are wearing a mic for the broadcast. It lets you know that the intensity level is pretty high going into the fourth.
Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor. Beverly to Bradley. Fires the three. Textbook defense.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Beverly into the front court. His guys down 3. The screen sets him up for 2.
It's crazy to think that Tobias Harris is on his 4th team. Milwaukee, Orlando, Detroit, and now the Clippers. But he is one of the most serviceable players in the league. He can get his at any time.
Screen coming.
Hey, big screen right there, big screen.
George to the basket, but it won't go.
And I know this is an off day for him, but still, that serves as no excuse for you not to give any effort on the defensive end. Here's a trick. If you get yourself engaged defensively, that can at times help you offensively.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a 3-point play.
The offense has very little to lose on those type of plays if they know they can, number 1, create contact, and number 2, still get the ball up. You need to assert yourself fully on the defensive end by initiating the contact and not allowing the offensive player to get that ball above his waist.
Marcin Gortat trying to cash in on a 3-point play. For his career, 67%. And he can't convert the free throw. OKC ball. Take stock of the floor. Westbrook. 5 on the shot clock. To Westbrook. And it's Bradley there to clear the rebound. Beverly into the front court. His team up by 1. From the painted area, won't go down.
Seems like a lot of contact on that play. If I were that player, I would pull the ref over to the side, talk to him, express to him how much contact there was so he could look for that same foul call potentially the next time down the court.
Beverly into the front court. His guys now trailing by a point. Bradley. That's out. Last touch by Avery Bradley. Looks like some substitutions are coming on in. Russ at the controls. Ferguson to Westbrook. Steven Adams with the slam.
Everybody in the building, including myself, thought that pass was going somewhere else. Fool me once? Okay, but you're definitely not fooling me twice.
Harris to Beverly. Has a chance. Shot's no good. You have to like the confidence, but that was a difficult shot.
You know, Ed, everybody gives so much credit to the guy who contested the shot, but there's no way he's in that position without the communication of the backbone of the defense. When you have a guy back there who can block shots and tells you to apply more pressure, you know you're in a safe place.
Here comes the screen. To Westbrook. Trying to cash in. That's usually one that he'll knock down. It's LA Clippers ball. Beverly to Bradley. Shoot that, boy. 4-3. Schroeder with the board. Here comes the intentional foul, but they did have one to give, so no free throws yet. They'll shoot after the next foul.
Smart play. You have fouls to use. Good way to manage the clock without burning a timeout.
Now we get a whistle. They'll wrap him up with the intentional foul, and a little over 20 seconds left to play.
This is a close game, and possessions are at a premium. That's a good move to stop the clock.
Can't connect on the first free throw. Good recovery. Hits the second free throw. Now the Clippers call a timeout. They'll need a quick shot and then likely a quick foul in what is now a two-possession game. Second effort. Another follow, still no good. And an intentional foul here in the closing moments. But it shouldn't make too much of a difference in what is now a two-score game.
Okay, now look over to the sideline and see what the staff is trying to draw up on the next play. That's good clock management thus far.
Goes 2 for 2. Late heave to beat the buzzer. Good victory here for the Thunder as they take care of business at home. For Jay Williams and all our crew, I'm Ed Cohen saying so long for now. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
The Thunder finished with a narrow victory on the scoreboard. I could get into detail about their play calling and shot selection, but let's be honest. We all know that the dunks were the most exciting. I'd be surprised if the rim isn't a little bit bent at this point. The Clippers are probably frustrated with themselves after such a narrow loss. They shot exceptionally well from beyond the arc, but even that long-range efficiency wasn't enough for them to... Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Game track. Field goals.
This was a matchup in which solid shooting was prominently on display. I definitely enjoyed it. Like I'm loving enjoying all of these highlights right now. Great job of effective, efficient scoring from these squads.
Player of the game.
Paul George put up the kind of points that made him an easy choice for this award. He couldn't be stopped. And when he realized he was in his zone, he just took it to another level.
Who was cold?
This isn't the segment you want to be in, of course, but even the best players find their way into this part of the show. These are the top plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.